Hey, hey! Welcome to the show! You made it! Another fine Friday.
Is it Friday?
Another beautiful Thursday.
Thursday. I think he's wishful thinking. Like, is it Friday?
Yeah, last week it was Friday when we did Real
it
Talk.
was.
So
It's Taquito Thursday. Sorry.
It's Thankful Thursday, Thirsty Thursday.
Oh, Thursday, yeah.
What else is for the Thursday? Taquito Thursday? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh.
He just ruined his day. He thought it was Friday. Like,
I
who
know.
ruins a... He had a good vibe going on. He's like, it's Friday. Woo!
He knew it was Thursday. That's the problem. Is he knew. He
I
just
thought this show was taped and aired on Fridays.
No.
but,
Today it's Thursday.
It's Freudian.
So sorry, y'all. If you thought it was Friday, it's
Yeah,
not.
sorry.
It's Thursday. But if you happen to be watching this on a Friday, whoop, whoop,
You're cool.
it's Friday. Yeah.
You're my peeps.
What's up?
And you're a day late watching us.
Yes. It's okay. Whenever
You
you
tune
watch
in
it,
when it's good for
you
you.
tune in when you tune in.
that's
We
right.
don't judge.
Yeah, that's right.
If you
Nope,
tune in,
not
you
at all.
ask a question, you just do it.
Now, you might be late to the game if we have some kind of cool comment on this,
Yeah.
whatever,
Oh,
that
yeah.
Anna always
Yeah.
wins.
Yeah.
So,
You never
Yeah.
know.
you could be that next person.
You never know.
could be the
Yeah.
lucky one to get a
Yeah.
care package from Colorado Native Realty, your local
Yeah, I guess-
real estate specialists,
Experts.
Oh, yeah.
experts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whatever you wanna be.
We're like Oprah. You get a grocery bag, and you get a grocery bag.
So much.
You get a hat.
You get socks.
You get socks.
Yeah.
Or houses. We can do the same thing with houses.
The
You
socks are
Without a
sweet.
doubt.
Yeah.
I do want to say that on our next Axel's socks design
I think
powwow.
they sold their business, by the way. Axel sold. I
What?
got an email or something recently that they changed something. I'll have to relook at that. Did you just scratch the record on me?
Yeah, and then I muted everybody.
Oh, wow.
Didn't really mean to do that.
Wow. Chris
yeah.
got lost his mind for a second there.
Yeah.
Sorry. We'll talk
Dang.
we'll talk about that later. So
Axel
welcome to
sold?
I don't know. Something happened, so we'll have to. Let me research that a little bit.
Yeah.
Let me get
Yeah.
into my stalking mode, and I'll let you know.
Okay.
To be determined.
Cyberstock.
Yeah. to
Cyberstock
be-
Shannon, if you
Yeah.
don't know. Cyberstock
I could just
Shannon.
call my friend Dane and
Or you could
see
do
what
that.
the deal is.
You could do that too.
Yeah.
Who's gone to Casa Bonita yet? Like to go check it out prior to them opening up.
Well,
Have you drove past
I like
it?
that you asked the three of us, even though you know that nobody in this.
I didn't know if maybe
show
Brian
has gone
had.
to Casa
Maybe he
Bonita.
No.
drove by recently.
I'm
I
sure
just
he
saw.
hasn't gone
I
to
saw they
Casa
were
Bonita.
doing the. I saw they were doing the gold inlay on the top. They were just finishing that off this week.
I think I saw that they open or the grand opening's the 21st or something of June.
Trey and Matt dropped 40 million is the
$40
word.
million
40 million into
on
that bad boy.
updating Casa Bonita.
That place has
I
never
wanna
seen
s- I
$40 million.
I want to see where it went.
No.
I got to
Yeah.
see where the 40
Never
million.
in the
It went-
inception of that restaurant or any part
Like,
up until now
ever.
has that.
do I get to
seen
go do a cold
$40
plunge
million
in there?
dollars.
Do I get to go do a
Yeah.
cold plunge?
Hey, speaking of the cold
Yeah.
plunge, did you happen to notice that it's like way easier now?
Me? Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's
I
like
didn't notice-
nothing. No,
I didn't
because
notice
like
that.
the ground is
I-
like warming up, and so it's like
Have you started the cold plunge, Brian?
it's really nothing now.
I forgot
I
to
did
today.
I did do it 3 times in the last week.
And how did it make you feel?
I didn't feel like I got warmer. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, or it got warmer. It still was shocking. Like
But how did you
I did
feel
it-
after? How did you feel after the plunge?
So
of the
I
cold?
went. It was after my workout. I worked out, and then I took a shower because we were going out, and then I did my normal warm shower, washed all that stuff, and then I cranked it to cold. And,
That's how you do it, buddy.
Yep.
I was not pleased at that moment.
Did you time it? Did you time it? Did you get Carrie in there timing you? Like,
No.
how many seconds did you make it?
It's baby
I'm sure my
steps.
neighbors probably timed it because I was like, holy beep, beep, beep. Yeah, it was chilly. I don't know if I was not expecting it to be super cold, but I didn't think
Aw.
our water was that cold.
Thanks
So,
for playing.
Yeah, it was,
Did you
yeah,
feel
it's-
better after? Like, what was the feeling you had after the plunge? After you turned the water off and you got out of the shower and you're like, ah, yes. Was it great? Were you like invigorated? Were you like, what the hell is she thinking? What was the
I mean,
reaction? You did
I'd
it
already
3
worked
times.
out. I worked
Maybe it's
out
not for everybody,
on one
you
of
know?
them. I did do it twice, like just in the morning. And I can't say that it didn't like wake me up. Like I'm pretty waked up. I'm pretty
You're woke.
awake in the morning.
You're pretty woke.
Yeah. I am wide awake when I get out of bed in the morning, and it drives Carrie nuts. But it didn't make me like I gotta go like seize the day. I didn't feel like the
You weren't going to
endorphin
go
rush.
run a marathon
Like
after? You weren't going to go.
like no, I felt like after the workout. Now I thought it felt good because my muscles were like my shoulders and my arms were totally like done when I got done with my workout, and it felt fantastic on those.
Yep.
But
Yeah, man.
I
Well,
wasn't.
that's what's
I
up.
wasn't like.
Good job.
I wasn't like, here I go. I'm coming to save the day. So
Well, I'm proud of you for trying something new. Get out of your own way, right?
That's right.
Is
Without
that
a
the
doubt.
thing?
Yeah.
I
Do
don't
it like
know.
I don't know. If that's a thing.
maybe over the next week I'll tell you if it gets.
Better or worse.
more
I
exciting.
forgot to do it today. I was trying to get my ass out the door. Pardon my French. Pardon my French. I am a sailor in my free time. If y'all didn't know,
Is that French?
that is pardonnez-moi, my French. It is not French. It is my sailor mouth. But
Sailor. Is it sailor French?
it's sailor French.
It's French for sailor.
If you didn't know by now, I am a sailor in my free time. I also happen to sell real estate.
Oh.
So if you would like to maybe go on a boat,
Yeah.
I can help with that.
Yeah. A houseboat.
Houseboat.
Yeah.
I can also refer you to buy some houseboats if you wanted to do that. I don't know anybody that sells them, but I'm going to find you someone that sells a houseboat.
They're
What's that area in? There's a real famous place in San Francisco where they have like beautiful houseboats. I can't remember the name of it. It'll come to me. It's like Chesapeake, or I'm not sure exactly what it's called. But no, it's
is it
maybe,
where the homeless people are living right now, or no? Is there a different?
No, man. These are like houseboat, like for real houseboats.
I'm
like,
sure they're top dog.
Yeah, they're millions.
Houseboats. Like
It's the place I'm thinking, and it'll come to me. I'm drawing a blank right now. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. It's very like when you think of houseboats. If you've seen houseboats on TV and that kind of thing,
it's very to do.
It's probably at this place.
Interesting. Yeah. Interesting.
I like it.
Well, there you go.
It's
Learn
not
something.
Chesapeake.
About-
I don't know why I can't think of it.
Talking about some real estate outside of Colorado. I don't know if you guys know Barbara Corcoran.
Yes.
Like
yes.
Shark Tank,
she's
all
on
that
Shark
stuff.
Tank. I actually meant to
so-
put those posts in here that I stole from my friend Jacqueline, who's also a referral partner. I meant to put those in here on that behalf. So tell me what you're going to say, and I'll share my tidbits.
Well, so I don't know if you've read like her. So she has a blog. She has shows. She has a bunch of other stuff like Shark Tank, everything else.
Yep.
But one of her things, talking about like the markets. People keep asking her like, what's going to happen with the market? What's going on? Like, what should I do? Should I buy a house? Should I not buy a house? And her comment was, interest rates are high. You're seeing prices stabilize. If you can afford the payment, it's a great time to buy.
Yeah.
Because when interest rates drop, all bets are off.
It's going to be a feeding frenzy is the way that I took it.
Yeah.
We absolutely know that is so true.
Yep.
That the time to buy is if you can buy, if you can afford it and you're approved,
without a doubt.
it's the time to buy. There's no question about it. I will argue this. I will die on this hill. I'm serious. Like I'm not messing around. This is the way. Seriously. There's no. It's quite simple. And I know, and and Shannon knows, and other realtors out there know, and lots of people, buyers that we have know that it was absolutely chaotic and terrible. And so it will go back to that as soon as those rates drop, and they will drop.
Yeah.
So
it's
just the way it goes.
She has she's in all 50 states, I believe, is what she owns real estate groups and offices in all 50 states. I believe it's all 50 states, so it might be 49. But so someone who has a finger on the pulse of the macro data, that's kind of a big piece. And you see that and you go, hey, you can wait. But just, can you afford the payment now? And if you can, you can refinance and do all that stuff when rates do drop.
And,
interesting.
It's very interesting, the climate of buyers right now, because they're so, they're so spoiled with what they have, and they don't even realize it. And they're like, oh, well, they should pay me to take that house, or, which we actually heard for the first time, which was kind of funny. Or I'll just wait, like I'm just going to wait. Well, good luck, because when you wait, that same house, the next time one like it comes up for sale,
there's going to be 10 people out
it's
the
going to
door.
be more money. And if those rates do drop, you better believe that you're going to not have nearly as much of a chance to get it. And then you want to talk about all the other things that are happening, like concessions and all that. Bye-bye. Like you won't be getting any of that. Hope you have some money saved.
Yeah.
So.
And you better be stockpiling. I mean, you better be stockpiling cash while you're waiting, because rates right now, you can buy down rates. You can do a 2-year buy down. You can do some other stuff that's, right now we can get concessions where they're helping buy down rates for 2 years. We can do a lot of other stuff right now because there's less buyers, and that's a real number, right? You've seen the mortgage applications were down 26% nationwide, and that's a pretty dramatic number. But prices or interest rates capped last week really close to 7%, so you're not surprised by that. So it means there's less competition, there's more buyers than there are sellers, but it's still a pretty balanced market in 90% of the markets, right? So,
and don't believe the hype, the news. The same people who they're putting out the market's going to crash and all this energy for a reason.
Well, it's fear-based.
Yeah, it's the same reason they're raising those rates. They're doing it for a reason. And, like you can buy into the hype, or you can know that in at least this market that we live in, it's not going to, and different areas of the state are different. Our climate here in El Paso County is much different than, your climate in Denver. And that is just the way that it is. But we also have a built-in military community. The demand for homes is very high, and there's not a lot of affordable housing options just out there in this, in the state of Colorado. So.
Well, another thing I wanted to reiterate with all of that is that when you choose, maybe this is a topic for the future since we already have kind of what we're talking about today, but when you choose your real estate agent to work with, or if you're going to do it on your own, or whatever path you decide to go on, when you're exploring real estate investing for yourself, buying a home for yourself, buying a home as an investment, maybe you've got to sell your first home and move out of state, whatever that path is, we are here to advise you and guide you. You don't have to take our advice. You don't have to. We are like the eyes in the sky that take the emotion out and look at it in a functional way. And we go, okay, if you do this, this is one option. If you do this, this is another option. It's your choice completely, whether or not you decide to walk through A or B, or take the red pill or the blue pill, or whatever, however you want to kind of analyze that. And we're just here to help guide you along that way. That's our role on that, on top of like the negotiating and the advising on pricing and all of the other little hats that we wear. It's a big thing. You don't have to take our advice. We are here to support and guide and walk alongside you, and of course always and forever meet you where you are. You might be a seasoned investor or a first-time home buyer, or somebody that's just looking to like dip your toe in the water. Maybe you want to buy some land and build a yurt. We can help with all of that. You just have to say, hey, this is what I'm dreaming about. So just wanted to kind of throw that against the wall.
That's right. No, we are definitely advisors, and we have our finger on the pulse of the market here. We really know what's going on. We've been through these type of storms before. It's not our first rodeo, and we can help you with it.
Yep. All day.
I think that that really leads into the fact that even like what Barbara Corcoran had said was, you got to look at that. She's giving advice, right? You can go anywhere and see different advice, but that advice, there's gonna be people that look at that and say, I'm not gonna do that. Bigger Pockets is another podcast. It's another group of people that I follow. I love their content. They do a lot of entertaining stuff with it, and they give feedback, like, and they tell people all the time, like, here's what we would do, and we're not telling you to do it this way. If you don't want to do it and you want to try your own path, do it your way, right? We'll talk about one of our subjects later on of things that when we maybe didn't take advice. That's one of our subjects of today, of when we didn't take advice, but or when we didn't listen, or it didn't go well. So we'll kind of talk about that later, but let's hit some of our fun. What did we do this week?
Yeah, what did we do? Our favorite things. Do you have the favorite things in there?
No, there's no favorite things.
Oh, well, here's one of my favorite things. This week I went and saw my favorite band, the Revivalists. Chris was supposed to go, and then Anna and Jeremiah were supposed to go, but our whole weekend got kind of messed up because it just got messed up. We had to be flexible with our plans. Ended up taking Anna and Jeremiah and my girlfriend Christina, who I've known for, I don't know, 30-something years. So shout out to everybody who joined me at the Breckenridge Brewery. It was so much fun, and it rained. It was like, I don't know if y'all have been to a concert in the rain recently. Did it rain the whole time? No, the first two bands, yes. And then when my band came out, my favorite band came out, no, thank goodness, it did not rain. So nice, sweet baby Jesus had.
Not like when Tom Petty would Tom Petty controlled the weather, by the way. When he was here in Red Rocks and he would play a show, he would literally control the rain. It would be pouring if he wanted it to be pouring, and it would clear up and be amazing. If it would depend on the song. It would depend on the song. I'm not even kidding at all. Yeah, so that's one of my favorite things in Colorado since I moved here, in life in general, is just going to concerts and experiencing live music. And then if I get to do it with my friends or my husband or my family, all the more better. And it's just, it brings me so much joy. So that was one of my favorite things I got to do. Yes. You're awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm awesome.
Chris is like, you're awesome. I didn't get to go.
I'm sorry. Chris held down the fort. I went for a fun little hike this week. I'd forgotten how close we are here in Colorado Springs to great trails and streams and just like connecting back with nature and getting outside.
It is incredible that this is like
that it's right
15 minutes.
It's 20 minutes from my door that I got to go on this really cool hike. Awesome. And I wanted to make sure that I shared with people that, like, if that's one way for one of our clients that we talked to recently, Brian, if you remember last week, they said, I just need to be close to the mountains and get outside, and I need to have that within X amount of range from me. And I thought that was so important for that person to share, because that was such a value that they had in their world, and it was so important. And we have it at our disposal at any given day if the weather's right. So take advantage of that in your space. Go unwind, unplug, spend time on a picnic, go for a walk, hear the water, the mosquitoes. Oh my God. Go right here real quick for me. So we have replaced the crazy moths that were outside with mosquitoes. I swear to God, I got 20 freaking bug bites when I was by the water. I'm still like,
there's some standing water everywhere.
Yeah, there's water everywhere right now. So I've gotten like mosquito bites recently. So adios moths. Hola.
Hello.
Mosquitoes. Hello to the mosquitoes. So that was not fun. This one,
this one.
I thought it was really freaking funny because in the movie Dumb and Dumber, when what's the other guy's name? Not Lloyd. What is his name? So the other guy in Dumb and Dumber. Can you remember right now? So you're telling me there's a chance.
Yeah.
We all know that your minimum credit score, at least in the real estate space, you may not know it. In the real estate space, you have to have a credit score of above 620, 580 if you're lucky, if you can find somebody to accommodate that. And you have to have a certain credit score to be able to purchase a house. And that was so funny to me because Lloyd was, or the other character that says, you're telling me there's a chance. Like, yeah, there's a chance if you get your act together and you listen to everything I tell you to do to the T. Like, it doesn't say that in the rest of that meme. Those of us who know that have like been through the ringer with their credit and made really bad mistakes perhaps with that throughout our life.
Which you haven't, though. You've always had good credit. So that's funny that you say that because you have not made
I have not made terrible mistakes with that. No, because I've always known that it's
I remember when I met you and we found out when I finally found out your credit score, which is like at least date 3, I think, or more.
Date 3?
I'm just kidding. It's at least beyond date 3.
I hope so. I hope
I was like, whoa.
Kept a little bit tighter to the belt there.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Date 5. Yeah. Date 5.
Yeah. No.
She held out till 5.
But it held out the credit score. But just because a lender tells you no, it doesn't mean no forever. It means no, not right now. It means no, and you have to do these things to like increase your score. We have a plethora of people in our network that can help you. Maybe that's you or somebody you know that has not always made the best decisions, but you want to start doing better.
Well, I can say I have not always made the right decisions, and I was lucky enough to have a good friend who was our lender, who really gave me some sound advice and some sound options, both in the lending space so that we could buy a house, because we knew that we couldn't afford to keep renting. It just wasn't a sustainable plan for us to keep renting, and we had to buy a house, even though I didn't have my act together. And so this person, and I can't say her name because I would have to have her credentials, give us a call. We'll be glad to hook you up with her because she's still lending to this day, and she is absolutely amazing. She's a great friend, but she gave me sound advice on what to do in addition to giving us a loan with a plan. And what I mean by a loan with a plan is, it may not have had the best interest rate. It actually was a kind of a complicated loan that I won't really get into, but I was able to qualify for it with my wife, and doing that, and then having a plan to
I was your girlfriend at the time, though.
Oh, that's true. Pay this off, do this, and then we will refinance. So that was our plan. And we did that, and it went off without a hitch. And now I probably have a higher credit score than Shannon. So there you go.
You're welcome.
Boom.
I think is that what you meant to do? If you have a higher credit score,
is that going to make you infuriated?
No, if you have a higher credit score than me, it's thanks to me. I would at least.
Oh, it is.
I would at least I will give myself the kudos.
There's no wife in the world that wouldn't say that.
Yep.
She's the one that stops. Our wives are the ones that stop us from making dumb decisions.
Yeah.
I've said it before, and I will say it again. I would be working at the frickin' Home Depot or doing construction or some random manual labor job. I'm serious. Like, if it wasn't for this woman next to me. So I'm grateful every day for that. And
Boom.
And that's real. I mean, especially given the adversity that, that I was challenged with personally, like I'm lucky to be where I'm at, and I'm grateful every day. So thank you, Shannon. And thank you, Brian.
Yeah, thanks, Brian.
Brian actually is another key component in the reason that I'm here. So
I think
thank you both.
I think it's a big part of the story. Go right here real quick to the stormtrooper that Brian texted. I need a little backstory on what's going on here with this storm.
I'm gonna
is this a Sesame Street stormtrooper?
Yeah,
what am I missing?
That's Beaker. So
is that you? Are you underneath there?
No. Well,
why is Beaker a ginger?
Because
that's just
how Beaker is. I don't. What am I?
Yeah, he just is.
I'm not Jim Henson.
Jeez.
I don't know. But so I send this picture to my sister, who is a little bit of a smartass, and she goes, "I don't think you can pull that one off. You're not that tall."
Oh my gosh!
And I'm like, I don't know if Beaker is that tall. I'm just throwing that out. But
he's looking through the bottom of the nose, like that's where his head is. He's not looking through those eyes. Yeah.
Oh my
god!
I'm
like, way to rain on my parade. I know I'm not getting in the NBA, right? Like, I know I'm not dunking on anybody. But could you not ruin my costume?
Shout out to the Nuggets right now. They are slamming. They are slamming.
Yeah.
I did see that the tickets in Miami are a hell of a lot cheaper than they are in Denver right now. Yeah. So
that's because people in the D are representing. They know that's going to be, I mean, we've never, this is a first.
You could fly to Miami and get tickets
people are showing
cheaper.
up for the Nuggets. And you know what? Even before we had before we were even ever in a finals game, people showed up for the Nuggets. So people are going to show up for the Nuggets.
Yeah,
without a doubt. I mean,
go Nuggets
for sure.
Go Nugs.
Yeah,
let's go.
Since we were little kids, since we were little kids, they have never been in the finals. This is awesome. This is
ever.
Dream come true.
Dream come true.
Look at these lovely ladies.
Speaking of dream come true, Margaret and I went to a social media event for real estate agents today. I kind of I texted everybody maybe a couple months ago when I got an invite, and Margaret was the only one that responded back, which was really great of her. So super grateful
that
she showed up today, and she showed out. I texted her yesterday, and I was like, "Are we still going to the social media event thing?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'm still going if you are." And I'm really glad that
I mean, who doesn't want to hear realtors talk about it themselves?
It's not okay. First of all, that's not how
kidding.
it was.
Second,
I had myself convinced yesterday that it was either going to be one, on this one side where it was like pointless and I wasn't going to learn anything. Or two, it was going to be really great and there was no in between. Like I didn't give myself any like maybe I'll take away one nugget or two nuggets or three little nuggets that I can put into our business and our space. It was phenomenal. The coach that was speaking, Giselle something or another, she's a motivational coach. She's a top 100 curator. She
really made an impression on you.
She did great. It was wonderful. Like she shared a lot of stories and tidbits that we can take and implement not only in our real estate business and our personal lives. So I was really excited about that. I'm glad that Margaret went with me to share this space. We did take like some free headshots. So shout out to the lender that put it on and invited me.
Did he have breakfast burritos too?
They had some sort of food, but I went and did the headshot, and when I went back to the food was gone.
Or breakfast burritos canceled?
No, it was like bruschetta. Like what are the little things with the mozzarella balls and tomatoes? I can't think of what it is. The margarita type sticks or whatever, and some sort of salad, cookies.
Oh, speaking of, you probably didn't know because you click listed, and we got like the smallest pizza bags ever. Like it's not gonna be enough cheese.
What?
Hey, right now I think you could just pull out the iPad and reorder those. Like,
sure.
Hey, on my laundry
if you
list,
could do that right now,
I gotta get this done.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway.
Oh, that's dumb.
Sorry, we started
dumb.
talking about mozzarella.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Now
about
Chris
that.
is hungry.
I'm sorry.
He's hungry.
Yep. Exactly. Do you want to talk about what we were going to talk about, or we should go more of the assets that are in there?
Well, we definitely need to go over the assets because we kind of have been just jumping around.
Okay,
here,
jump around.
Yeah.
Jump around. Do it.
Well, do you want me to show houses, or you want me to go to?
We've shown the houses. I mean, if you want to see a house, just call us. We'll go show it to you.
Oh, you'll take me to show a house?
I'll take you to show a house. It takes as long as it takes. I can't read the rest of it.
Be gentle on yourself.
Be gentle,
on yourself, man.
Yeah.
I wish I had some peaceful music to play right now.
Like really what you just said about like buying a house or whatever, it takes as long as it takes. People are like, I'm doing it today. And then they get frustrated that, it's not instantaneous. And, it's like any kind of change, we talk about this all the time. How hard is it to change a habit or change behavior? It doesn't happen overnight, right? You didn't get a bad habit overnight. So it takes a while to fix it. So it takes as long as it takes.
It does.
I think it's just a good reminder. Now this. So these are Muppets also, Shannon.
Yep, I knew
and
that.
you do the macrame.
Macrame
I was
Muppet plant holders.
So
I'm trying to.
You're like trying to get me to do. You need me to. You're trying to hire me for a project, like you're trying to commission right now, like a.
Yeah. So I need like at least 3 of these bad boys. So if you could do.
Do you have
like
a specific
3,
color? Can I just do like all purple or?
I would do. You need a different like 3 colors. Come on.
I got to pick 3. I'll get back to you on that. That's gonna be. Okay. I'm gonna put a pin in it.
Okay.
I'm gonna put a pin in it, and I'm gonna let you know when I get that done.
So
it's Giselle Ugarte.
Yes, she was wonderful.
Oh,
and she's also from Minnesota, so it was.
So she was nice.
She was totally speaking
and she probably
my language.
makes bars.
She didn't. I didn't even ask her about a bar.
Do you make bars?
She lives in New York now.
Should I have brought some bars?
This is what I'm making this weekend, Brian. Do you know what this is?
Oh, friendship bracelets.
No. Friendship bracelets for Taylor Swift. Tell your wife.
This is what Brian has to say about Taylor Swift. Boom!
Boom! Look at that.
Tell your wife that I'm making
a friendship bracelet for that.
I'm making some friendship bracelets for us when we go see Miss Taylor Swift here next month, which I can't even believe it's next month already. But apparently it's a thing with us Swifties to wear these bracelets that you make, and you can order them online and get them through Etsy and have somebody else make them. But we're going to make them this weekend, and we're going to wear them to the concert and trade them with other girls.
That's great. Tell us who this is, Brian.
I didn't see Aaron Rodgers wearing his at his Swiftie concert. He wasn't wearing.
Did you really get into his wrist?
Aaron was up there.
Did you really get into his wrist? Like what?
Well, I mean, he was at the Taylor Swift concert, just
maybe,
it up.
Maybe he had it on his ankle. Maybe
he's
he
not
had
too
it on his
old
ankle.
for that. He's just fine. He's fine.
He's fine. Yeah, he's not. Okay.
It's fine. He's fine.
Okay, so the
Oh my
picture
gosh.
that you have, the picture that we
Not
come
Taylor
back to,
Swift. Let's go.
not Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
This is the band Creator, and
Oh yeah.
so Sepultura was there. Creator. It was a pretty sweet concert. So
Where
old
was
school.
when,
Like
when
if you
was
like old
this?
school.
Was this last
speed metal.
Saturday when I went to the
Saturday.
Revivalists? You went to Sepultura?
Yeah. Sepultura.
That was pretty
and,
good.
Creator.
I lift
Yeah.
my goblet of rock.
Exactly. That was exactly.
And it was a lot of
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's old school. It's old school speed metal. Yeah, it's awesome. It was
Okay,
great. Like
great.
they rocked
What's
it.
up?
Yeah.
I'm
So-
glad you
yeah.
enjoyed yourself.
Speaking of old,
Yep, speaking of old,
Ouch.
get out your bell bottoms.
Yeah.
Break out your tie-dye.
Woo!
Yeah.
Bring it on down
over
to
the hill.
Bring it on down
Wait.
to Almaville.
You know what though?
Wait,
King of the
wait
Hill
till you
is what
see.
it should be. And you know, like
Did you get the shoes? Did you get the shoes?
I haven't gotten the shoes yet, but I got my costume, and it is the fly guy. So-
fly guy.
Fly guy.
Where
So
did
if
you
people don't know
did
who
you
Fly
order
Guy
this
is-
on Amazon, or how'd you get this bad boy to you?
Yeah.
Like,
Carrie ordered it after we were like, she gave me like 3 choices of Fly Guy outfits, and she's like, "Oh yeah."
what's
maybe
Carrie
I
gonna
could
be?
maybe I could be Chris Rock in that. He's so funny. That was his first
Yeah.
ever. That was
Ever.
the first
Yeah.
you ever saw Chris Rock, and he
Yeah.
was in like a tank top and was young and just
Wow.
you know whatever, and he's like, how much for order ribs?
Just fun.
Oh my gosh. What movie
It's-
is that? Is that the
It's
fly?
I'm gonna get you sucker.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
get you
get you
sucker.
sucker.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah,
course.
it's the best.
Oh
I
my
love
gosh.
that movie.
It
I've
is.
seen
It
that
is.
movie
Oh.
so many times.
I'm sure
Yeah.
that I had to show it to you
yeah, I'm not really
Yeah.
impressed right this
immediately, like once we started
Yeah.
second.
dating.
Yeah, that was
I was
on
like,
date
look,
3.
yeah, on date
Yeah.
three,
Date 3,
after
I
I got
had
her
to
credit
watch-
score,
yeah.
I was like, yo,
After you knew
You're
she
like
could
an
qualify.
800?
He qualified
you need to
me.
watch this.
This is really. I'm feeling like I need to go.
She OG'd. She
Oh my-
OG'd. She
oh
made
my-
it.
She OG'd. I know.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
What's OG?
if people-
Over gold.
Over
Overgolded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over
What's that
gold.
song?
You-
I married up and you married way down. What's that song?
I don't know, but sounds like a
It's a
song
country
you should
song.
write.
It's
I
a
mean,
country song.
Yeah. He's like, it's not the song I wrote. It's not about me.
Oh my gosh.
He's like, I married up.
Oh
That's
my
right, yeah.
gosh, we're like going.
yeah, I can't
out.
even write a country song because I've married
Yeah.
her. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
My life's so
Yeah.
good that I can't even write a country song. I could play a Telecaster though.
Well, that's
You guys want some country licks? I'll give them to you right
no,
now.
I'm good. Let's
Yeah.
talk about
Some double stops.
mistakes. Let's talk about mistakes that maybe we have made in real
Yeah.
estate.
Ooh, all right.
Before we wrap it, I want everybody to let's
give
go
one?
around the table, if you will.
All right.
Give me a mistake that you've made in real estate. It could have been yesterday.
I'll give you
Could be today.
two that are super fast.
Okay.
All right. Go for it. Go. You're on.
One I should have fired a client a year
Ooh.
or 2 earlier. It was an
Mm.
investor client, and I should have fired that person a year.
Yeah, I think
or 2
we've all
earlier
been
than I
there
did.
where we know that it's
Yep.
in the best interest of everybody, but you just want to
Yep.
keep the deal together. You want to keep the relationship strong. It's all about relationships. You want to do the right thing, and sometimes
Yep.
people make that really hard.
What made
That-
you go, like, when we talk about mistakes and you're looking at that now, what makes you say I should have done it 2 years before? How are you different in
So-
your space now, knowing that like you should have done that differently at that time, and why didn't you see it at that time, do you think?
I think I did see it. So like this client was, would call you in the middle of the night. Didn't matter what time it was, no respect of anything, but would call and just start screaming and yelling. And you're like, what are you screaming and yelling about? Like, I don't even know why you're yelling at me. But it had nothing to do with like the real estate transaction or anything else. It was just like, oh, my tenant in one of my properties is making me mad and I'm going to scream at you about it. And I'm like,
Right.
why are you calling me? Right. What's funny, and Shannon knows this because she's been with me the longest on all this, in that like it was kind of like a cleansing. I fired, I think, 3 investment groups.
Yeah, it's hard to
all
let go
within-
of millions of dollars, but
Yeah.
it's liberating when you can do that
Yeah.
because it's going to let you live a better life and sleep
Yeah.
better at night and not worry about all the
Yeah.
crazy things that person's going to ask you to do.
Yeah. Well, like at that time, like that person was a catalyst to say enough's enough, and I'm done with
Good
the
for you, man.
yelling, the other stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
that was probably, and if I can give any advice to any agent out there, if you know someone's like asking you to do unethical stuff, asking you to do like they're screaming at you, they're being disrespectful, they're doing all that stuff. There's too many other people out there that are better to work with that don't
Amen.
take your sanity.
You need to know your
So
worth and don't cut yourself
yeah,
short. Like your
yeah,
your value, know your value and what you're worth, and don't,
yeah.
you don't have to put up
Our
with it.
no,
So,
my other biggest mistake ever was we did 5 flips at once, and it actually made me stop doing flips. And Shannon knows how hard that year was for me. So we did 5 flips in at one time in this one year.
well,
And
you had a lot of different things going on too in your space on top of
yeah,
that. So it
right,
really made you, in my opinion, kind of learn your boundaries on what
yeah,
you can and cannot handle, learn the importance of your relationships with your family and your friends and how important that is and what it was taking away from you at
oh
that
yeah,
particular time because you were so dived in into like that flipping. You were just like,
yeah,
I'm doing all of this. You were running five
yeah,
projects. There was no room in your world for much else.
Well, in your bandwidth,
right,
you only have so much bandwidth, right?
right,
So you
right.
you know you can choose to do those things that something's going to give, and in that case you were working on that side, and your real estate side was suffering, and other
Oh
aspects,
yeah,
your family life,
family,
your
relationships, all that.
yeah,
Yeah,
all that
yeah,
was suffering, and
yeah, without a doubt.
no doubt, and
Yeah,
one thing too to think about when you're doing something like 5 flips at a time. I mean, it's almost like mathematically impossible to, at least in this day and age, to have good contractors that will be able to
yeah.
you know
Well, that
to
was
do
the
that.
problem,
And
right?
that's the hard part,
Yeah,
right? Is like,
yeah,
if you have 5 things going on, 5 flips, you're bound to
right.
have, I mean, especially if you're
Yeah,
the project manager and you're overseeing all the contractors, there's bound to be
yeah.
some hiccups along the way, for sure.
Yeah.
And that's why we kept getting delayed. We had other issues. We
Yeah.
picked up more properties. I mean, we made it out of it. It was great, but it truly was. I was like, I'm done. I think that was our last. In those 5, we flipped all of those houses, and we.
What do
ended
you
up
think?
keeping
You
2 of
think
them.
one or two would be like 2 at the max? One at a time is probably
It
ideal.
depends on your bandwidth and what you're
Yeah,
doing.
if it's your full time job, I think you could do multiple. I mean, I see people do
Right.
5 to 10 of them at a time.
Sure.
And that's not like they have that. They have that. That's their
Well,
sole job.
I remember during that time, and
Right.
you were debating whether or not to get your GC license so that you could do
Yeah.
that, which is,
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like a
Even-
whole nother path, right? It's like you're, I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
are you, is
Yeah.
that what, just
Which
interested.
way are you going, B?
I know,
Which way you
that's right,
going?
yeah.
Yeah. Well, and
down,
we
or
were,
around?
and at that time, yeah, I remember we were in. I would be at
You're
the
in
city of
Italy.
Denver for
Yeah.
half the time, and then we went to Italy, and that was in the middle of all that.
Yep.
It was a debacle. So
Yep.
yeah, don't do 5 at once. That's my
Yeah. There you
that was
go.
what I learned.
I
Sorry.
love it. I love it. Do you want to answer the question next, or do you want?
Yeah, I got one, for sure. And I haven't myself fell victim to this, so this isn't something that like I've personally done, but I've been on the other end of a transaction where this happened. And, it came down to the appraisal and the appraisal gap guarantee. And, these folks offered, more than the house was worth, but no appraisal gap guarantee, and then it didn't appraise. And so that left, a really hard decision for that agent to go back and say, hey guys, hey, Mr. Seller, cause he represented the seller. I'm sorry, but the purchase price now, you have the choice of either this is the purchase price or we terminate and start from scratch. And that's a hard place to be in. And I think that with appraisals, in this market, like that's something that you really need to be aware of for sure. When accepting offers and looking at your offers for your listings.
Yep.
Oh, without a doubt.
It goes back to that expert advice and how we help guide people and what to do when things kind of go awry, because there's no rhyme or reason to this business. We have no control over a hailstorm, somebody dying, There's so
or the appraisal value of the home.
Yeah, like the appraisal. There's what the inspection's going to find, the clients and how they react to things. The only thing that I've learned, and it took me a long time to get there, is that the only person I can control is me. Throughout, my days and whatever, I can't control what you do. I can't control what he does, my children, clients, any of that. I can just control my actions and how I react to things. And that's the best that I can do each and every day. So,
well, and one thing that you're very good at, Shannon, is providing choices for people. And, so that's what, ultimately this goes back to what we were talking about with the advising and how we are your, your advisors, and you can take it or leave it, but, you have choices, and so we always present you with all the choices. Like, here's your choice if you go down this road. Here's your choice if you go down this road. And we try to take the emotion out of that because it's so emotional for you as the client.
Yeah, hands down. Hands down.
Yeah.
So. Hands down.
Well, and you get an offer, and it's over. You're excited. You're like, yes, this is sweet. We got an offer. It's way over. And if your agent's not advising you, we need to get an appraisal gap, because they're like, oh no, we'll appraise, no problem. That might not be.
Well, and I got to tell you, I knew right away that that was a possibility, because I knew what that house was worth. And I knew that they didn't have that verbiage in there. However, I work for my client, and so I'm not going to shoot myself in the foot and bring that to light. But I knew that was going to happen, and it certainly did. So
100%. Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Shan. I'm if yours is joining me in real estate, we're gonna yell first.
No, I'm really grateful for that phone call that I got all those years ago, and the opportunity.
Changed our life.
That's a totally different conversation, which we can talk about on another time, because there was a lot going on in that space that changed the trajectory of the path that we were on, period. If I could do anything different in real estate, in my business or personal? Okay, so
hold on though. Are we talking about if you could do anything different or mistakes?
Mistakes. Okay, mistakes.
Yeah.
Mistakes that I have made in real estate. On the personal side, number one, I wish that I would have bought my grandpa's farm when I was presented with that opportunity in 2020, because they sold his farm and the land and all of that. And I was so consumed with our business and our life and COVID and all of that at that time that I couldn't even process it. Looking back, I wish that I would have thought about it at that moment and taken the time to move forward with it, because now that property is somebody else's, and it was like my grandpa's legacy, and he gave us the option to do so, and I never took that. That's a mistake. Not to say that it won't ever come back to me, because you never know. On that side, but I should have
especially
considered
the folks that bought it are using it for Airbnb, and in Devil's Lake, North Dakota, I don't know how well that possibly could be going. It may be going swimmingly.
A lot of people are going there for fishing and hunting, and
but I'm not really sure how that would be going, and so you never know. There could be an opportunity in the future. Like, they're not farming the land. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So and it's prime farmland.
That's number one. I wish that when we were selling our house and buying this house, this is just personal stuff on my side, not in my business relationships or with clients. So for me, I wish that when we were selling our house and buying our current home, that I would have kept that house, because at that time I had the opportunity to do that. I just had to structure things a little bit differently, but I was scared to.
We took the easy road.
I took the easy road instead of the hard road.
The hard road would have been to
take my own advice that I give to people is really what that was. Is I didn't take my own advice
to keep it, but it would have made our move a whole lot more stressful.
I wanted to go shopping for furniture. I did that anyway, and then I got in trouble for that too.
It was really
which
dumb,
is a
because
whole nother story.
That.
I'm like, why wasn't that on your list?
It is somewhat.
That $10,000 or $15,000 that you spent literally outgoing on furniture or whatever. Not only cost you that, but it cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars in equity.
Yes.
period.
So that was
that's a fact.
that was something that I take to heart, and I just know moving forward that, for now in our space, one of our goals on our vision board and on my whiteboard is getting an investment property. How can I do that? And I've tried to structure it in my mind certain ways where I pull the equity out of my house, use that as a down payment, get a renter in there that makes sure it covers the mortgage. Like I know how to kind of get there, but I'm not there in a way that it's like on the table right now, but it is on my forefront. So I just want people to know too with that it is doable. All of the things that you have in your space and you're dreaming about, even though you might not like believe it, we're here to support you however that looks. So
well, and we all make mistakes, right? Like, I mean, there's not a time, that you don't go back through history and say, man, I learned that lesson the hard way, right? And I won't make that mistake again, or I hope I don't make as bad. And, buying your grandpa's land, right? Like now you see like the value to it. But at that time, you didn't have the bandwidth to say, this is, something I can take on right now. Right. And at that time, you couldn't have traveled there to see it. You couldn't have done a bunch of other things because of COVID and some of the other things. So, there was a lot of apprehension in the market.
Absolutely.
Stuff,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely. I just want to say that, I think in the last, at least, how many years in real estate? 2015. Yeah. What year is it? 2013. Maybe 8 years in real estate. Yep. I have learned personally to make sure that it's okay to fail. It's okay to like try something new and then fall on my face. I never would have done that
It's
before.
better than not trying at all.
It's better than not trying at all. We come up with the most harebrained ideas, and Chris can attest to this, where he's like, what did you guys just decide you're going to do? And we're like, we're going to do what? And he's like, you crazy. No. You crazy.
Yeah. He's like, fools.
But you know what?
You fools can't do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Here's the deal with that, though. As much as that may be the case, it goes back to what I said. If you don't try it, then the answer, you already know what the answer is if you don't try it. Right. So you might as well try it. Like, what do you have to lose?
Yep.
Well, and one of the things that we do is if we do try something, we try it for a year, right? So we have to do it for a year to see if it works. And if it doesn't work after a year, you're like, man, that was painful to learn, but it took us a year to, kind of get the kinks out. So, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So,
sorry we went long today. Oh my gosh, I'm all
we're not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. There's lots of stuff. A lot of stuff going around. Make sure you RSVP to Brian's 50th birthday party. That's coming up quicker than something on a something. I don't have anything spicy to say right now.
Today's your last day to get your to do your in Douglas County and some of the
the appeals.
Good point.
I put mine in. I did that. I did it.
So did I. So it's the 8th is for most of them. So get your appeal. Even if you just file the appeal online, you don't have to give them any documentation. It allows you to have a secondary appeal after that. So just go on there and appeal it no matter what. That's my advice.
Do it.
Unless your value is super low.
Just do it. Then leave it alone. If your value is low.
Just shut up. But I haven't heard anyone say it's super low. So
that's right.
Thank you. Have a great weekend,
Bye, guys.
everybody.
Bye.